realize because they keep putting things in, they keep putting fragrances in products where it doesn't even make sense. Now, I understand it might seem sensible to put chemical fragrances to cover trash, but you know what you get then? You get fragrance, over trash. I mean, it just doesn't, it's not doing anything to really take care of what garbage might smell like. It's just trying to mask it. In the meantime, it's making your air toxic. So it's just everywhere, whether it is in our detergents, in basically every part of our laundry at this point we can make toxic. There are so many different things to throw in to add fragrance and softening agents, and people wonder why their skin is irritated. We've got eczema, psoriasis. So we can talk about topical irritants from fragrances, and we can talk about internal irritants, our lungs, our sinuses. People get headaches, and a lot of that has to do with the phthalates. We've got parabens and phthalates that are preservatives in order to make fragrances, and both of them do harm to humans. And we know this to be true, and we're still completely inundated with fragrances in almost every part of our world right now in terms of products.
And we see very little information about the neurological effects of these fragrances. And when you mention headaches, I think that's, headaches are so common, insomnia, those kinds of, and just physical weakness. I used to have environmental illness, and if I walked down the detergent aisle of a grocery store, I would collapse. And so the fragrances really messed with my neurotransmitters.
Yes.
So I always wonder about these children, young children in kindergarten, first, second grade, and their teachers are wearing these horrendous perfumes, and the kids are sitting in these all day, and they're supposed to be learning,
Right.
So, all right, let's talk about asthma.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Oh, asthma, just that one, it's heartbreaking. It just goes up by, 300 to 600% a year. And you see asthma and allergy centers everywhere. And it's just, again, something that's so preventable. Most asthma is preventable. And it is about what we use in our homes, on our bodies, all of those things that we can control. And one of the things I like to teach about is we need to control what we can. We don't want to, think we're going to be able to change out public buildings and what they're using to clean. It's going to take a while, or airports or hotels. That is something that we have to deal with right now until things shift more. But we can control what we use in our homes. Our homes can be completely non-toxic and safe and clean, and everything about it can be perfectly healthy without chemicals, and that is the one place we can control. And so when I talk about asthma to, let's say, 100 women, or allergies and asthma seem to always go together for me. So you ask them, how many of your children have allergies or asthma? 90% are going to raise their hands. The next question is, how many of you use scented candles, plug-ins, or other air fresheners? I don't like to name specific products, but use this in your bathroom or use this in your kitchen. And they all raise their hands. So that just makes my job really easy because I can tell them exactly what to do in 5 minutes to switch out and make their home non-toxic. And the great part about that, Jenny, is the emails and the phone calls I get follow-up afterwards. It's just the best feeling when they say, my kids seem better. They're not as sinusy. Their allergies are going away. Thank you so much. I've learned. It's just been this this wonderful, inspiring thing to be able to teach people just the simple things about switch outs in their home.
So let's talk about these air fresheners, because they're everywhere, and I think dryer sheets fit into that category. You can smell them walking. You take a walk in your neighborhood to get outside, and the neighborhood smells like dryer sheets. Every day is somebody's wash day. You know,
so sad.
And,
yeah.
And you go to visit friends and family, and there's air fresheners in their bathrooms and kitchens. So educate us so that we can help educate those we love about the overuse of fragrance, too.
Right. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because we are battling with that square box in our living rooms that tell us every single day that if we don't use this, we're not good moms. If we don't use, this product, we're not good wives or hostesses. Or we're so inundated by that, by commercials telling us what we're supposed to be using, that we're not using our own heads. So you've got to look at who's open to listening, and that's the hard part because sometimes people are just going to be offended. So what I've tried to do is say, I have a really hard time breathing. Do you mind if, for instance, if I'm going to stay at someone's home for a few days or something, do you mind if we take those out because they cause me to have difficulty breathing? And that's true. I mean, that's 100% true. I get automatically my lungs start to close up, can't breathe well. It's actually stressful. It's really stressful. And then to think that, your eyes burn, actually. There are all of these things that go on. And I just wonder how people live in it. So you almost have to gauge if people are willing to listen. And if they are, I teach them about, non-aerosol. We can make our own with essential oils and water. We can boil water on the stove and throw beautiful herbs, spices, put clove and allspice into boiling water. Our home is going to smell beautiful without any toxins. Oftentimes, you can get to them through their pets and their children. You can say, do you know, I read this article that these air fresheners are really bad for dogs to breathe? You can actually get through to people. It's funny. They don't necessarily care so much about themselves, but their pets and their kids, they will listen. So air fresheners are dangerous. They are causing turmoil in every way in our bodies, between the headaches, the overall neurotoxicity, the breathing issues, having that if it's in the air, you can absorb it into your skin. It's remarkable how much damage it can do to the human body and how little people know about it.
We on this telesummit, we interviewed the Breast Cancer Fund. We interviewed one of the scientists there, and what she said, and it really helped me to wrap my head around this issue with the cancer and the toxins, is that it's that small dose of either carcinogens or hormone disruptors. Those constant daily small doses through our personal care products, our body creams, our scented products, what we're breathing, everything that we breathe goes through our whole top of our brain. So it's that daily exposure to one of these types of chemicals, either the straight carcinogens or the hormone disruptors, that really, in the end, it's that the long-term result is going to be some kind of cancer. And so just reducing our exposure through fragrances, eliminating them in every room of our house, you know. And can you talk a little bit about switching out products? What's a good process in your mind to go through the house and to start doing that?
Keep it simple.
A room at a time, a product at a time?
Yeah, I would say a room at a time and keep it simple. We don't need 5 different products under our sinks. We can have one good all-purpose cleaner, and that all-purpose cleaner can be boosted with baking soda or vinegar, or, you know, we can make choices depending upon what we're cleaning. So if you're cleaning wood, you want to keep it more on the emollient side. If you're cleaning a window, you want to thin it out with vinegar. There's just one of the things that I always taught people, if you can buy concentrated gallons of something that you love and then play with the dilution ratios, and that will take care of cleaners. And it can actually be that simple. If you need to use something harsher every 6 months because you've got, you know, a water issue or, you know, there's hard water or rust or something, I tell people it's almost, I don't want to advocate it, but it's almost understandable and it's okay. If you are living non-toxic 93% of your life, you're doing a heck of a lot better than you were probably, you know, a couple years ago. So if you can keep it simple with concentrated products that you can then do different dilution ratios. Soaps are, boy, I usually ask people what they like. So I want to glean from them what it is that they will use, what's going to be effective for them, what's going to make them happy so that they'll stick with it. That's another thing. When you're switching products out, get to know the person so that you know that they're going to be happy and comfortable. Boy, it's really about preference and giving people options and not making it difficult and keeping it inexpensive, because you don't want that flag up there saying it's going to be too much money. That never works for people. And really leading them and educating them so they understand the why, the how, and keep it simple.
And I think when you're talking preference, that's a big piece of aromatherapy, which is when you're using essential oils, that's aromatherapy. So your cleaning products can be lemongrass, they can be pine, they can be lavender. You know,
yes.
What you're saying is you can use the same basic product, add what it is that you love, and then you will stick with it longer. And you're making that choice, and that's lovely. That's really it's healthy.
It is. It's
your house
wonderful.
is going to smell clean.
Yeah, to clean with something that you actually like using, and it's effective. And another part that goes with this is educating about the whole antibacterial thing. This movement of using everything antibacterial, which we can look at very easily and say, hey, we've never been sicker. This isn't working. This is not working. You know, that was a great ploy for us to spend billions of dollars on products that were filled with a chemical called triclosan. And that's an antibacterial agent that's creating havoc, complete havoc in the environment, in our bodies. Something that is already, I believe it's been banned in Canada, and we're making efforts. I see some of the big companies making efforts to remove it from products. So we're getting back to the basics there, but we've got to teach people that we cannot live an antibacterial life because we're only going to create imbalance.
Right, and I think triclosan has been linked to cancer, has it not?
Yes, it has. Yeah.
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 So we really, again, have to read our labels and stop using those antimicrobial hand soaps, you know, they really are everywhere. They're everywhere.
They are. And the answer to that is soap and warm water for 20 seconds.
Right.
And that's going to clean our hands. We are not, unless we're in the hospital, hospital restaurants, third world countries. That's not America. We, every day in our homes, we can just use soap and water and not worry about it.
And so much of the smell that all these products are trying to cover up, it's really about killing the bacteria that's causing the smell. So take out the garbage, do other things, underarm deodorants. You can use natural products. It's about killing the bacteria. Essential oils kill bacteria. You know, they're
right.
antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. You know, it's
Yes.
they're really a wonderful resource for us all.
Mhm.
So I want to talk a little bit about some amazing success stories. Women's Voices for the Earth just had quite a win with Johnson & Johnson announcing the end of their fragrance secrecy. Can you tell us about that campaign and your participation as an actionista with womensvoices.org?
Sure. I first reached out to Cassidy 4 years ago when I was at Yellowstone National Park, and I noticed they were using a lot of chemicals. And it was interesting that they were actually in Missoula, Montana, and I was at Yellowstone. And she started to tell me about their group and what they were doing, and the fragrance situation really hits close to home for me because I don't do well when I travel and when I'm around fragrances. If somebody has perfume around me, I tend to get sick pretty quickly. And so that's been one I have been working on and advocating on every level for years and years. So part of what I've done with them is just send people to their site. I've been part of their teleconferences to try to educate people. I will write and work with them every opportunity I have and support them. They have been a great support to me, and just, again, as women, just coming together to educate and strengthen our voices in order to make changes like this in every way we can. And this is a really big coup because it shows that we're able to do that now. It shows that we can do that with our knowledge and our perseverance.
And our consumer power, you know.
And our consumer power, yes.
That's right, and these newsletters from organizations like womensvoices.org. I get their newsletters. You just click a link and you're able to sign your name to a petition that's going straight to companies like Johnson & Johnson, and you make an impact.
That's right.
And they're changing their policies because our voices are being heard. So thank you for your work as an actionista with Women's Voices for the Earth and for all that you're doing now as an educator and consultant, being out there in the world a little bit more. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us today before we close?
Oh, geez, I'm just, I'm honored to have this time with you. I know it's been a while. I don't know if people know that I had sold the company so I could go back to education, and I've taken some time off over the last couple of months, but I will be accessible again soon. I will be ready to really work with people on a number of things. I'm actually going to be working with Yellowstone National Park on a project, and there's so much to do, and I'm so excited to continue this work because it's happening. That's the neat thing, is when I started the company in 2007, it was a slow movement, but it's really picking up speed now, and we're getting somewhere. And it's very exciting to be in this place now.
And that's the good news. And I think, you know, when you're in the middle of it like this, I think that we are hopeful. You know, we're so aware of all of the good news, which we don't get on the evening news, radio, television programs. But truly, if you join some of these newsletters with these organizations that are in the midst of it all, you do get the good news. You hear about, you're able to participate in the campaigns. And,
yes.
You know, I've been doing environmental work for 25 years, and 25 years ago, we never imagined corporations would be going, quote, green. We never imagined it was possible, and it is all happening now. So we're living in a very exciting time. So thank you very much, Audra Conklin. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, you're welcome. It was my pleasure.
I want to give some links now. Womensvoices.org. It's Women's Voices for the Earth, and they amplify women's voices to eliminate toxic chemicals. And they do a lot of networking so women lead the way in creating a healthy environment without chemicals in our workplace, our homes, and our communities. And you can become an actionista just like Audra Conklin and sign up for their newsletters to keep abreast of their campaigns like their No Sense campaign that make it easy for you to add your voice as a concerned consumer. And we also have a link for ChooseWiser.com, which is Christy Marsh's website and her Choose Wiser newsletter. Christy Marsh is a breast cancer warrior. You can also buy her book, Little Changes, about her roller coaster ride from being diagnosed with aggressive stage 3 breast cancer to becoming a national advocate for breast cancer prevention, and how she dealt with the emotions of recognizing the toxins and health hazards in the products she was bringing into her home and her family. So Christy's also a guest on this telesummit, and you can look for her interview right below Audra's on your Green Woman Store page. And do you want to say a word about Christy's work, Audra? I know that you're familiar with her work.
I sure am. She is one of the most inspiring women I've ever met, and I can't say enough about her. Please read her book. Anybody who wants a story about a woman who brings in humor, goes through tragedy. She's got 3 little kids. She is diagnosed with breast cancer, and she survives it. And she says to her greater spirit, whatever you can, if you can get me through this, I am going to dedicate my life to teaching other people how to live healthier lives. And she got through it, and that's what she does, and it's just beautiful. So, dear friend, wonderful colleague, and I'm always the first one to support her with everything.
And very inspiring, for sure.
Yes.
And we also have a link for Is Your Perfume Toxic by Dr. McCullough. A really good look at synthetic fragrances and their health effects. Dr. McCullough ends his article saying, in fact, a woman's natural scent has been found to be more seductive than perfume, scoring another point for the power of nature. So we have a link to Dr. McCullough's article. And I just want to add, too, that we have all natural perfumes and colognes made with organic and wild-crafted essential oils at greenwomanstore.com. So thank you again, Audra Conklin, for joining us on our Preventing Cancer Telesummit, Exposing the Environmental Causes. And thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to join us. I hope we have informed and inspired you in ways that improve your health and longevity. If you're looking for new ideas and the latest information on preventing cancer, please try to catch more of our podcasts on preventing cancer, green lifestyles, and sustainable and sustained living. And please share these interviews with your family and friends. You never know who you may be helping. I hope you will take the time to make the healthy changes you heard about today a priority in your life. Keep listening. Bye for now.